Imagine Earth long before us. This was the Triassic period around 240 million years ago. Life was recovering from a massive extinction. The Permian-Triassic extinction event wiped out most species. But from this devastation, new life emerged. Amongst them, the first dinosaurs. These early pioneers were smaller, often bipedal, moving swiftly. They were a new kind of reptile, adapted and ready to seize opportunities. Dinosaurs branched off from archosaurs, the ruling reptiles. Think of Eoraptor or Herrerasaurus. These were some of the earliest contenders. They were nimble predators. Their skeletons show key features: an upright stance with legs directly beneath the body. This allowed for more efficient movement. The world they inherited was harsh but full of potential. The supercontinent Pangaea dominated the globe. Vast deserts covered much of its interior. Yet, along the coastlines and in river valleys, life found a way. Ferns and conifers were the dominant plants. The air was different too, with higher carbon dioxide levels. This greenhouse world was generally warm. The appearance of these first dinosaurs was a gradual process of evolution. Small changes, generation by generation, accumulated over millions of years. Their story was just beginning. Imagine Earth long before us. This was the Triassic period around 240 million years ago. Life was recovering from a massive extinction. The Permian-Triassic extinction event wiped out most species. But from this devastation, new life emerged. Amongst them, the first dinosaurs. These early pioneers were smaller, often bipedal, moving swiftly. They were a new kind of reptile, adapted and ready to seize opportunities. Dinosaurs branched off from archosaurs, the ruling reptiles. Think of Eoraptor or Herrerasaurus. These were some of the earliest contenders. They were nimble predators. Their skeletons show key features: an upright stance with legs directly beneath the body. This allowed for more efficient movement. The world they inherited was harsh but full of potential. The supercontinent Pangaea dominated the globe. Vast deserts covered much of its interior. Yet, along the coastlines and in river valleys, life found a way. Ferns and conifers were the dominant plants. The air was different too, with higher carbon dioxide levels. This greenhouse world was generally warm. The appearance of these first dinosaurs was a gradual process of evolution. Small changes, generation by generation, accumulated over millions of years. Their story was just beginning. Picture a single immense landmass. This was Pangaea. All of Earth's continents joined together. It stretched from pole to pole. This supercontinent shaped the world of the early dinosaurs. The interiors of Pangaea were incredibly arid. Vast deserts sprawled across these regions. Rainfall was scarce far from the coasts. Life here was tough. Only the hardiest plants and animals could survive. The atmosphere during the Triassic and early Jurassic was quite different. Carbon dioxide levels were much higher than today. This created a strong greenhouse effect. The Earth was generally warmer. There were likely no permanent polar ice caps. The environment was dominated by plants that could withstand these conditions. Giant conifers, cycads, and ferns formed the backbone of the flora. Rivers carved their way through the landscape, creating fertile corridors. Life on Pangaea was interconnected. Animals could, in theory, walk from one end of the Earth to the other. As we move into the Jurassic period, around 200 million years ago, things began to change. Pangaea started to break apart. The supercontinent was rifting. This was the beginning of the Atlantic Ocean. Laurasia to the north, Gondwana to the south. This continental drift had a massive impact. It changed ocean currents and global weather patterns. The climate generally became warmer and wetter during the Jurassic. The increased coastlines brought more moisture inland. Lush forests expanded. Conifers, cycads, and ferns still dominated. This wetter, more verdant world provided more food. It was an environment ripe for an explosion of life. The sauropods emerged. These were the long-necked, long-tailed herbivores, Brachiosaurus, Diplodocus, Apatosaurus. They were the largest land animals ever to live. They roamed in herds across vast plains and through towering forests. Alongside these gentle giants, fearsome predators also evolved. Allosaurus was a dominant theropod of the Jurassic. Stegosaurus, with its iconic backplates and thagomizer tail, also thrived. The Jurassic was a time of evolutionary innovation. Dinosaurs diversified into a stunning array of forms. The world was truly becoming a dinosaur planet. Life during the Mesozoic era, the age of dinosaurs, was a complex tapestry. It was woven with threads of predator and prey, competition and cooperation. Every day was a struggle for survival. Imagine a herd of Edmontosaurus, a type of hadrosaur or duck-billed dinosaur. They moved through the Cretaceous forests, constantly vigilant, listening for the telltale sounds of an approaching Tyrannosaurus rex. Their survival depended on their senses, their herd behavior, their ability to run when danger appeared. The ecosystems were rich and varied. Towering forests gave way to open plains and dense swamps. Each environment supported its own unique community of dinosaurs. Herbivores came in all shapes and sizes, from the small, nimble Hypsilophodon to the armored Ankylosaurus. Carnivorous dinosaurs, the theropods, were equally diverse. Some, like Compsognathus, were small and agile. Others were apex predators. Tyrannosaurus rex in the late Cretaceous, Allosaurus in the Jurassic. Fossil evidence suggests complex social behaviors in some dinosaur species. Many herbivores lived in herds. Some dinosaurs built nests and cared for their young. The Cretaceous period. This was the final act of the dinosaurs' reign. It spanned from about 145 to 66 million years ago. Earth continued its transformation. The continents were drifting further apart. This created new oceans and seas. It isolated populations of dinosaurs. This isolation drove further diversification. Different species evolved on different landmasses. The climate during much of the Cretaceous was warm. Sea levels were much higher than today. Vast, shallow seas, called epicontinental seas, covered large parts of the continents. The western interior seaway in North America is a prime example. These seas created unique marine ecosystems. A major evolutionary innovation occurred during the Cretaceous, the rise of flowering plants or angiosperms. This was a revolution for the plant kingdom. Flowers brought color to the prehistoric world. Dinosaur diversity reached its peak during the Cretaceous. It was a world brimming with an astonishing variety of life forms. For over 160 million years, dinosaurs dominated the Earth. They were masters of their domain. They adapted. They thrived. But the universe is a place of constant change, and sometimes that change is catastrophic. Towards the end of the Cretaceous period, whispers of doom began to gather. Subtle shifts in the environment, perhaps increasing volcanic activity. These were signs that the long stability of the Mesozoic was ending. Extinction is a natural part of life's story. Species arise and species disappear. There have been many extinction events. Most are relatively small, but a few are truly massive. These are the mass extinction events. They wipe out a significant percentage of all life. The Permian-Triassic extinction was the largest. Now, another great dying was on the horizon. This one would be linked with the fate of the dinosaurs. Scientists call this event the Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction, or KPG extinction for short. It happened approximately 66 million years ago. It marks a dramatic boundary in Earth's history. The breakthrough came in 1980. A team of scientists led by Luis Alvarez, his son Walter Alvarez, Frank Asaro, and Helen Michel. They were studying a thin layer of clay. This clay layer is found all over the world. It dates precisely to the KPG boundary. Within this clay they found something extraordinary, unusually high levels of iridium. Iridium is rare on Earth's surface, but it is much more common in asteroids and comets. This was a smoking gun. Their hypothesis was radical. An asteroid, roughly 10 kilometers, 6 miles wide, struck the Earth. The impact would have been cataclysmic. It would have released energy equivalent to billions of atomic bombs. The immediate effects would have been devastating. A colossal fireball, massive earthquakes, tsunamis hundreds of meters high racing across the oceans. Material ejected from the impact crater would have been blasted high into the atmosphere. Some of it would have even reached space, then rained back down, heating the atmosphere to oven-like temperatures. This was an unimaginable catastrophe. The impact's aftermath would have plunged the Earth into darkness. Dust and soot thrown into the atmosphere would have blocked out the sun. While the Chicxulub impact is widely accepted as the primary cause, the story might be more complex. Some scientists argue that the dinosaurs and Earth's ecosystems were already under stress before the asteroid even arrived. One major factor could have been massive volcanic activity. The Deccan Traps in India are a vast area of ancient volcanic rock. These eruptions began before the impact. They continued for thousands of years, straddling the KPG boundary. They released enormous amounts of lava, and, crucially, greenhouse gases and sulfur dioxide into the atmosphere. These volcanic gases could have caused significant climate change, long-term warming from carbon dioxide, short-term cooling from sulfur aerosols reflecting sunlight. This environmental stress might have weakened ecosystems. It could have made them more vulnerable to the final blow from the asteroid. So, it might not have been a single knockout punch. Perhaps it was a 1-2 combination. The KPG extinction event was a profound turning point. It dramatically reshaped the biosphere. The reign of the giant reptiles was over. The world they left behind was quieter, emptier, but not for long. With the dominant dinosaurs gone, new opportunities opened up. Ecological niches were vacant, and one group of survivors was poised to take advantage: our ancestors, the mammals. For millions of years, mammals had lived in the shadow of the dinosaurs. They were mostly small, nocturnal creatures, but now their time had come. In the aftermath of the extinction, mammals began to diversify rapidly. This is called an adaptive radiation. They evolved into a wide array of forms. They filled the ecological roles once occupied by dinosaurs. This explosion of mammalian evolution eventually led to the primates, and, much later, to us, humans. In a very real sense, we owe our existence to that ancient catastrophe. The asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs paved the way for our rise. But did all the dinosaurs disappear? Not entirely. One lineage of dinosaurs survived. If you like this content, like and subscribe Paradoxica.